Diversifying Planned Gift Donations. I'm Bill Stanczykiewicz. This is the first day from the Fundraising School, and I'm joined today by Dr. Kraig Kinchen. He's the Executive Director of 100 Black Men in Indianapolis, and he's here to talk about their expansion of activities to increase planned gift donors for their nonprofit organization. And Kraig, what a delight to have you with us on the Fundraising Schools podcast.
Thanks so much for having me, Bill.
So you have a background in medicine, in science, in corporate America, and here you find yourself leading a nonprofit organization. Tell us about that journey.
Well, it has been just an amazing blessing. I had the great fortune to start working at Eli Lilly in 2001 after completing my medical training and residency and my fellowship training, and just really enjoyed my career at Lilly. While I was there, Lilly gave me the opportunity to start volunteering, including with students at IPS. I then expanded that to other organizations, including 100 Black Men as a volunteer. And after I retired from Lilly early at age 55, I had the opportunity to continue to work for 100 Black Men, but this time as a paid staff person, as the executive director. And it's been a wonderful opportunity for the last year and a half.
100 Black Men is a long-standing, highly impactful nonprofit organization across the United States. Kraig leads the chapter in Indianapolis. And Kraig, just in case there are some folks in our audience not familiar with the 100, can you tell us about the work that your nonprofit is doing?
Yeah, so the 100 has its roots in New York in the 1960s when men like Jackie Robinson decided to bring a group of Black men together to help address the problems facing the Black community. And that model was just replicated in other cities. And Indianapolis was actually one of the first. So our chapter started about 40 years ago with a mission of men giving real time to positively impact the development and outcomes of youth in the community. And we do that in a number of ways through our programmings. So we have an African American history program. We have a Botillion leadership program for high school male seniors. We have 2 collegiate chapters. We have 3 financial literacy programs, including one that we've done at the University of Indianapolis for the last 22 years. We work with one of the IPS schools to do robotics and reading there. We have a summer academy, which has been going on for almost 40 years. We'll have 250 pre-K through 8th grade students in just a few weeks for 6 weeks this summer. And then we collaborate with the Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Central Indiana to do a team mentoring program with 5th through 9th grade young men. We're also engaged in a variety of health-related activities as well. So lots of activities and lots of very passionate men who really want to help youth in the city.
Identifying opportunity, creating and fostering opportunity, helping youth see and take advantage of those opportunities is what the 100 is all about. And Kraig, you also now are seeing an opportunity with planned giving from your donors to 100 Black Men. What led the organization to start becoming more intentional about pursuing planned gifts?
Yeah, so when I started with the organization in the executive director role, we actually had a fundraising consultant come in to evaluate what we had been doing and to sort of plot our path. And one of the opportunities that they identified was that we really didn't have a planned giving program. And from what I've learned, we're not unusual in the nonprofit world in not having a planned giving program. And so we took steps over the last year to actually start a program to really tap into, I think, something that's really an amazing opportunity for most nonprofits.
And can you talk more about that opportunity? The data are showing there's this huge wealth transfer that's happening in the United States from boomers and the silent generation to the next generations, but also that can happen to nonprofit organizations as well. How did that data, persuade you and your colleagues to go more intentionally into the direction of planned gifts?
Yeah, so right now, about 8% of charitable giving is through bequest. And most donors are not taking advantage of the opportunity to give through planned giving. So I saw one statistic where of donors who give at least $500 annually, 90% of them do not take advantage of the opportunity for what I'll call legacy or planned giving. When you talk to, or at least read the literature about this, you'll see that people who are donors who have charitable intent don't take advantage of this opportunity for a variety of reasons. Some think they just don't make enough money. Some just procrastinate. Some think it's going to be too expensive. Some just don't want to sort of talk about the topic of what happens after they pass away. So it's a missed opportunity. Those who do take advantage of it recognize that it's an opportunity to expand their legacy and to do so in a way that's, I'll say, tax friendly, so that they maximize their ability to contribute.
There can be this misconception that if I'm going into planned gift fundraising, I need to know millionaires and billionaires who are going to leave me 7 and 8 figure planned gifts that are going to make all of the headlines. And if that happens, that's wonderful, by the way. But Kraig, you mentioned that a consultant came in, you're working with an agency. How have they walked alongside you and served you to help you identify what the planned gift possibilities are within your donor database?
Yeah, so we have been really lucky to work with a local company, Endowment Development Services, and they've walked us through. And one of the things that they did was say, well, the first thing that you need to do is to think about the types of gifts that you will accept. And so there are a lot of different gift types. So we shouldn't think only in terms of what people leave in their wills. You also have to think about insurance policies and IRAs and who's named as a beneficiary on different policies. And you also have to think about people who have IRAs and have to make required minimum distributions. So there are lots of opportunities for people to give after they pass away, but also some opportunities to give while they are still living, but under that broad sort of umbrella of legacy or planned giving.
Kraig, are you also considering, and if you're not, that's okay, I'm just curious, as you've gone down this pathway, non-cash planned gifts, somebody who says, here's my house, here's my land, here's my vehicle, my boat, etc. Has that been part of the discussion for you and your colleagues as well?
Yeah, that has definitely been part of the discussion, and that's a discussion we would not have had we not been working with an agency and the consultant. People want to give in a variety of ways, and there are a lot of creative ways that people can give. If they're not aware of those opportunities, right, well, you're not going to be able to benefit the people that you're trying to benefit, which in our case is largely youth in the community. So we sort of owe it to the young people that we serve to really do the research and dig into the possible ways that people can give and leave a legacy.
Kraig, I'm wondering how some of those initial conversations were with your board of directors or maybe with your staff colleagues who are thinking, Kraig, this is great, but we have an annual fund. We have bills to pay today. We need to make sure that, we're fundraising from today's donors with today's gifts for today's expenses. What was that conversation like as you were talking with your board and with your staff colleagues about it's a both and that, yes, annual fund, but also these planned gift opportunities?
Yeah, I think we have the advantage, right? I had the advantage in the conversation in that I'm leading an organization which has a tremendous legacy already. So we've been around for 40 years. And so that makes us think about not just the next year, but about the next 40 years. And so I think it's not hard to convince a board that we have to plan for the future, recognizing the tremendous work that people have done to get us to this point. I think the second thing that helps us there is that when you really look at the numbers and you look at the size of the opportunity, it's almost as if you're not doing your job well or as well as you could if you don't start that planned giving process. So we recognize that some of these gifts may be far down the road, but there are also some near-term opportunities, as I mentioned, with required minimum distributions and other types of opportunities like that. And so really it's just the opportunity to start the program for the organization.
And Kraig's teaching us here is consistent with what we teach at the Fundraising School. Your annual fund is the first place to start. He mentioned 40 years of history in charitable giving to 100 Black men. And also the conversation around continuation language with our donors. That do they want to continue to have an impact even when they're no longer with us in this world? Although some planned gifts, as Kraig indicated, can be made while people are still with us. And Kraig, I'm hearing the doctor come out a little bit in you. There's rarely just one simple explanation to something that might be happening in the life of a patient. And you're talking about the complexity of fundraising and meeting donors in many ways that they can express themselves philanthropically.
Yeah, and I have to also say it's been helpful to talk with the people at the Mays Family Institute on Diverse Philanthropy that's associated with the Lilly Fundraising School. Very helpful resource to help us recognize ways to tap into people's intent to give and to leave a legacy, and also to really appreciate the tremendous opportunity there is to help people in diverse communities be able to have opportunities to give as well to causes that they care about.
Kraig, I'm so glad you raised that point. 100 Black men of wonderful history nationally, including in the state of Indiana, with a diverse donor database, people from many different backgrounds. But could you please expand on that last point, please, in terms of what you and your colleagues have seen in terms of the additional emphasis and encouragement that you're providing within the Black community to consider planned giving as part of their charitable giving and to identify the planned giving that is happening and oftentimes goes sadly unrecognized?
Absolutely. So, as you said, we have a very diverse fundraising base. We also want to tap into the contributions that diverse communities can provide. And one of the things that we have noticed as I read the literature is that in the Black community, the likelihood of giving is not really a difference in charitable intent. Often the issue is Blacks are less likely to have a will in place at the time of death. And there can be a variety of reasons for that. And so what we think is that education then becomes extremely important to help bridge that gap. It's important that we do things to help build trust with financial institutions and trust in attorneys who people can approach to really get their plans in place. So it's interesting. We just had an event last night with the Alzheimer's Association focused on the role of Black men as caregivers. And one of the points that was really emphasized is for all things, so power of attorney, and as well as your financial plans, it's important to have that plan in place. And so we want to continue to bring that message to the Black community as well.
And so helping your donors who are Black build trust with the institutions who can help them. But Kraig, I'm also thinking that maybe the institutions need to expand their Rolodexes and, not just build trust, but build relationships with a diverse range of clients to make sure that planned giving is fully inclusive.
Absolutely. I think as I've been in this role for the last year and a half, I really appreciate so many individuals who are taking steps to make sure that they are building relationships across racial and ethnic and economic lines. Relationships, as anyone knows in the fundraising space, are really the key to be able to have your mission, have the appropriate resources. And so I've just been really happy with the number of individuals and organizations who reach out across racial and economic lines to try to build relationships.
Well, as you're exposing the youth you serve to opportunities, you're helping your donors see opportunities. It's just a consistent thread that runs through all of your work at 100 Black Men. How's it going so far? How are those conversations with donors who maybe had not heard about planned gift opportunities from their good friends and trusted colleagues at the 100? How's that going so far?
Well, we're just rolling out the planned giving site, so we're really in initial stages. I would say that the conversations that we've had within the organization have been very positive. We have really the benefit of having some people who have been involved in our organization in the past who have made a point of giving donations after the time of their passing. And so we have that foundation to build upon. And so I think our organization really sees it as an opportunity to maybe follow the example of some of the people who have been most instrumental in the building of our organization. We have our motto is what they see is what they'll be. And we use that usually when we're thinking about our work with youth. But in some ways in planned giving, having people who have been a part of our organization really set an example really helps to lead to very productive conversations about planned giving.
What they'll see is what they will be. And of course, a wonderful message for the youth, but also for donors to see the opportunities of planned giving. And Kraig, as we conclude here, what advice would you have? Thank you for helping us learn from your remarkable story and the work that the 100 is doing, including with your donors. What advice would you have for other nonprofits, regardless of subsector, regardless of where they're located geographically, all the important work that's happening in philanthropy? Those who are saying, I need to start planned gift fundraising. What advice would you have for them as they're learning from this podcast?
Yeah, I'd say first, you're always looking for opportunities to tell your story because there are potential donors out there with whom your story resonates, and they are looking for creative ways to give, especially ways that might help them to avoid tax consequences. So I think that's the first thing. And I think the second thing is do your research. And we are fortunate to have good organizations like Endowment Development Services here in the area to really help us to do that great work. And so the work of staying up to date and having your site up to date with the latest in terms of policies and positions that impact planned giving, I think is very important.
Well, Kraig, I'm excited for the youth at the 100 and the future generations of youth who will participate in the 100 because of the resources being raised and that will be raised through your planned gift initiative. Thanks so much for helping all of us learn from your good work and your story, and wish you the very best as you continue to roll this out.
Well, thanks so much, Bill, for this opportunity.
Dr. Kraig Kinchen is Executive Director of 100 Black Men in Indianapolis. He mentioned the Mays Family Institute on Diverse Philanthropy. That is located within the Indiana University Lilly Family School of Philanthropy, one of our 5 institutes that we have that provide resources and research and practical actions that you can take to strengthen your philanthropic leadership and your fundraising. The Mays Family Institute is on the Lilly Family School of Philanthropy's website, and their resources and their activities free of charge thanks to our donors. And what we're talking about here in terms of planned giving has now been expanded within the Fundraising School. We have a certificate in planned gift fundraising management. Thanks to a gift from the Hibble Foundation, we've expanded our curriculum into a full certificate that you can learn not just the details of planned gift fundraising, but how to listen to your donors and have those conversations and be ready when they're ready to talk about planned giving, how to set up your entire organization, how to understand the changing public policy landscape. All of that is within those 3 courses amongst the 27 that we offer in a public setting, leading to 5 different certificates. Our courses also are online, either live or recorded in the United States and anywhere across the world. Now, we can also customize our training. We can bring a course just to your nonprofit, or we can take pieces of different courses and knit them together just for you. We have quarterly webinars and, of course, this weekly podcast. Our knowledge is gathered in our textbook, Achieving Excellence in Fundraising, the book now out in its 5th edition, including a full chapter on planned gift fundraising. Where do we find this information? Online, very easily at go.iu.edu/TFRS for the Fundraising School. I'm grateful for our producers today, Mike Anthony and Jennifer Boffman. I'm Bill Stanczykiewicz, and now you are now more fully informed on this first day from the Fundraising School.